any goals, please be aware that the game lights may include strobing or continuous flashing light imagery. These effects can potentially affect photosensitive viewers. If you are sensitive to such lighting, Carthage Athletics recommends taking the necessary precautions to ensure your comfort and safety. At this time, Carthage Athletics would like to thank the following corporate sponsors: Hallman Motors, Comprehensive Orthopedics, Doctors of Physical Therapy, Golden Oil, Lee Mechanical, Pepsi, Riley Construction, Satori Energy, Badger Bus, Bridge 410, BSN Sports, Camosi Construction, Catalyst Exhibits, Culver's, MH Imaging, the Stella Hotel and Ballroom, and Waterfront Warehouse.
Welcome one, welcome all. Thank you for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. An exciting afternoon, or should I say evening, is in store for us at the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello everybody, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us as always, as you have been this season. It's an exciting time. The Titans are looking to revenge their recent loss against Firebirds in this opening round of the CCIW tournament. Let's take a look at the standings coming in. Carroll undefeated in conference play. They are hosting North Central. As we speak, we will keep you afloat to that out-of-town scoreboard, and the two welcoming the three. Carthage 4-1, their only loss against the Pios of Carroll. Welcoming again today Illinois Wesleyan, who come in 3-2 overall. Or in the conference, I should say, 8-8 overall. Let's move over to the individual statistics for the visiting Titans and how they got here. A lot of ones, a lot of twos. Goals per game, second in the conference, 11.19. The last time these two teams met, bit of a slow start for Illinois Wesleyan. They came back roaring and almost pulled one out at the end, falling 10-8. We'll get to more on that as the game progresses. Also first in caused turnovers per game. Had a conversation with Coach Maddie Burney prior to this game, and she indeed said the turnovers the second half really almost spelled defeat for the Firebirds and the comeback effort for Illinois Wesleyan. So two key components that the Firebirds are going to have to look out for. Let's flip over now to the Firebird statistics. A lot of ones, a lot of twos. First goals per game, second opponent goals per game, first in saves, first in shot percentage, first in turnovers per game. This is the old anything you can do, I can do slightly better, and that's been the MO for Carthage this season. We'll talk more about the lineup once that's announced momentarily, but again, with some potential lineup changes for the Carthage College Firebirds, a prime opportunity for the Titans to take advantage and take one and steal one on the road in Kenosha. So we have the Firebirds ranked number one as well in save percentage. That, of course, coming by way of one of the best goalies in the conference. That, of course, being number 44, Sochi Del Valera. We'll get more on that as we are now primed and ready. Firebirds, Titans, time for introductions in the national anthem. Stepping aside for the PA announcer here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
From Illinois Wesleyan University, on the second team, Maddie Gibson, Sadie Newton, and Lizzie Ramirsek. And on the first team from Illinois Wesleyan, Mia Fiandaca and Sarah Reapy. And our all-conference student athletes competing tonight from Carthage, on the second team, Shannon Heitschmidt and Caitlin Goff. On the first team from Carthage College, Hannah Kim, Sydney Kuyeva, and Piper LaFever. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Titans. At midfield, wearing number 1, Bree Style. At attack, wearing number 3, Maddie Gibson. At midfield, wearing number 9, Annalise Di Giovanni. At attack, number 12, Sophie Shore. At midfield, number 13, Carly Fountain. At defense, number 14, Sarah Reapy. At midfield, number 15, Sadie Newton. At defense, number 16, Priscilla Tucker. At midfield, number 17, Mia Fiandaca. At attack, number 18, Avery Setzler. On defense, number 24, Mallory Mills. And in goal, sporting number 21, Lizzie Ramirsek. The head coach of the Titans is Abby Kashina, and she is assisted by Maddie Poulder and Tanner Johnson. And now your starting lineup for your Carthage Firebirds. On attack, number 2, Shannon Heitschmidt. At midfield, number 4, Rosie Nolan. On defense, number 5, Hannah Kim. At midfield, number 7, Sophia Winterkorn. On defense, number 9, Sydney Kuyeva. On defense, number 13, Caitlin Goff. At attack, number 15, Emma McDonald. On midfield, number 16, Taylor Ruff. On defense, number 18, Isabella Kuyeva. On attack, number 19, Piper LaFever. At midfield, number 20, Bailey Castle. And in goal, sporting number 44, Suchi De La Vera. The head coach of Carthage is Maddie Burney, and she is assisted by Rachel Harris and Alessandra Almendarez. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
The stage is set. It's time to look through the starting lineups for the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan University momentarily, taking on the Firebirds of Carthage College. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us for the first round of the CCIW tournament. The winner will take on the victor between North Central and the Pioneers of Carroll. Taking a look now with the Titan starting lineup. Player to keep your eye on, the goalkeeper, one of the best in the conference, Ramirsek. Number 21, joined by Mills, Tucker on the defensive side, DeGiovanni, Shore, Fountain. A outstanding attack, but the big one in the middle, number 17, none other than Mia Fiandaca. As for the Firebirds and head coach Maddie Burney, first year at the helm, Heitschmidt, Nolan, and Kim. Alongside Kieva, Goff, Ruff, the CCIW Respect Award winner, and in goal, Sochi de Valivera. Keep an eye out this goalie battle. Something's going to give, and can Piper LaFever be the one that brings the victory to the Firebirds. She will be lined up in the center circle for the opening draw control of the evening's contest. Winner goes to the CCIW Championship. Sadie Newton lining up to take on Lefevre. And we are underway in Kenosha. The make-it-take-it style of lacrosse that is often such a strength for the Firebirds shows itself early on. Again, the lineup shift, as mentioned, did indeed happen. One of the best scorers, not only in the conference, but the nation, Augie Claridge. 51 goals in active for tonight's game. So a more diversified offensive approach than we've seen most of the season for the Firebirds will be in store this evening. However, the last time these two teams met, Claridge was unavailable for that game, and it was still a victory for the Firebirds. Back at X goes Carthage, a spread attack looking for isolation. Hannah Kim, one of the CCIW players of the year, plenty of those on both fronts. One thing Coach Bernie said in our pregame conversation was, even with all the accolades this team got, she wanted more, and that is bulletin board material for this Carthage team, as we have a shooting space violation called, free position right on the floating hash, or the hanging hash as some like to say, off the left side of the 8-meter. So from the arc, the final home game of the season for both men's and women's lacrosse taking place here at Carthage. Picked up by one Rosie Nolan. Spinning around, nothing on top. Dodging, shooting, scoring. Indeed. 1-0's going to be your score. Shannon Heitschmidt coming out on top. The fourth leading score for the Firebirds, behind Claridge, Lefevre, and Rosie Nolan getting goal number 21. Unassisted, the horns are blaring at Carthage College in Kenosha off the lakefront of Lake Michigan. So a quick 1-0 score. And back in the middle goes Newton and Lefevre. Head coach Abby Kashina. Decent sized bench. 6 players suited by our vantage point. And the draw control won by Carthage. Setting up at the top is Reapy. Dodging off to the near side, splitting the defenders low, and the answer back. Sadie Newton helps win the draw control and immediately makes up for lost time. And goal number 17 for Newton.
Goal by number 15, Sadie Newton.
6th leading score for the Titans, but that needs to be their MO this evening. It is anybody's game. They fell early against Carthage and had to claw back, almost did so at the end. But the reason that bears mentioning is the fact that they're going blow for blow early on in the first 2 minutes plus of this contest bodes well for the visiting Titans. So the aforementioned goal scorer of Reapy delivers, and another draw control, pushing through, looking for the one pass. They're saying that was a shot. Back at X goes the Titans. pass inside, hits the ground. That's where the physicality of the defense of the Firebirds come into play. Sophia Winterkorn coming in. Let's take another look at that goal. Style just reset up at the top. Newton pushes the pace on the near side, has the lane, goes opposite, stick side, bottom corner, and not much that De Oliveira could do. Taken away once again by the Firebirds. False start called on Carthage after the change of possession, and the Titans will retake over. Pass inside, swatted away, good defensive play by the Firebirds. Ground ball, who could pick up the pieces? Titans joining the scrapyard. They're saying a trip called against Sydney Kieva, one of the CCIW players, all first team. Another whistle called. The physicality of Caitlin Goff knocks down the offense, and resetting up now once again is Reapy. 50 plus seconds on the shot clock, and that one knocked away. And Kieva comes away with it. It was almost a destined type defensive sequence for Carthage. They kept finding ways to come away with it. Sprinting on the near side, swatted away at the last minute as Izzy Kieva. I believe we're in a card issuance. A green card going to be issued on Sarah Reapy. So again, that swipe at the end was enough to warrant a green card. So Reapy booked for 60 seconds. As we take another look at that penalty. So the stick came across, looked like a clean check, but maybe that physicality just pushed or nudged a bit to the far side, and there's still 30 seconds remaining. Player up opportunity, looking for the pass, losing the handle, and just going into the sea of black, gray, and green were the Firebirds. Style now on the near side. The slide attack coming. Forcing through. Biandaka. Trying to force the pass through to no avail. Back to X. Go the Titans. We're still tied at one apiece, so the Titans weathered the storm. Not only forced a bad shot by the Firebirds, got possession while being down a player. We're going to have a free position, so shooting space going to be called. I believe it's going to be marked against Taylor Ruff. And at the right hash, opportunity for Maddie Gibson out of Fenton, Missouri. Coming through, down to the left. Crisis averted temporarily, ground ball. Pump faking. Trying to set up good slide defensively. On the ground it goes again. Minus the play of one Sadie Newton taking it herself from outside the 12-meter. The defense for the Firebirds has stood tall. They are one of the best defensive units in the CCIW. A strength, Coach Maddie Burney said. Anytime her team kind of looked at their opponent and said, oh, they have a very good defense, she said, I'd often have to remind them, yeah, but you practice every day against the best defense in the CCIW. hits the ground. Viandaka with the contact. Not sure if they're going to issue a card or not, and they are. So that is, I don't know if that's a green or a yellow. Let's see what they warned. It looks like it's going to be a green. So let's take another look. Great job by our replay crew just to catch at the end. Viandaka has a right to that space and the ground ball just as much as Hannah Kim. However, the right to the space doesn't mean the extension with a cross check. So Hannah Kim, the absolute burner, gets it past midfield and helps set up at the top of the key. Not known for offensive attack, but she can set up the offense like nobody else. Inside, shooting high, too far over the crossbar. Picked up this time by Heitschmidt. Heitschmidt had the opening goal, 2 quick goals, one by each team. Both teams now settling in at that 1-1 mark, 30 seconds remaining on the green card. Going all the way back toward that 30-yard retention line, just as a reminder for those joining us, this season players can't reach over that 30-yard marker, as we were told. So it used to be a stand at the 30-yard marker and you can reach over it, but it makes your way that way. Now you have to wait for it to cross that threshold. Less than 20 on the shot clock. Titans doing a great job defensively. Ramirsek doing a solid job, not encouraging her defense to play strong. 7 seconds now is all that's left for the Firebirds to find their best shot. This is one of the Maddie Burney specials. You see that isolated player at the 8-meter, 3 on the mark, 2 back at X. This is where you spread that defense so you have an opportunity to take the shot if the goalie shifts, or see which one of those 3 players makes the run. Keeping it herself, the bounce shot and goal. Just what the doctor ordered for the Firebirds. Number 15, Emma McDonald stepping up.
And a Carthage goal by number 15, Emma McDonald.
Emma McDonald, goal number 14. And that will break the deadlock between the 2 squads. I'm sure that will make the Firebird faithful be more than happy. And the draw control taken this time by the Firebirds. So after the first goal, after the second goal, face-offs won by Illinois Wesleyan, and a shooting space called 5 seconds after the draw control was taken by Carthage. Bouncing up after the misguided angle. And the Titans coming away with possession, so wasted opportunity. Allowing the Titans now to try to find their way to an equalizer. Brisk evening in Kenosha. De La Vera says no thank you as the sun is starting to set slowly behind the clouds on the westerly front. Once again, the midfield to mid-attack speed of Carthage already putting pressure. The drop shot. Big goal. Rosie Nolan. She notches her first goal. 3-1 the lead for the Firebirds.
And a Carthage goal by number 4, Rosie Nolan.
Again, we just were finishing our breath, stating the speed of transition for the Firebirds from defense into offense. That one extra pass to the outstretched stick for Rosie Nolan, aimed it high and did the patented drop shot to the shoelaces of the goalkeeper, Lizzie Ramirsik. Three to 1 your score. Now comes into play as we see the no look at that drop shot. Great play. Stick down. That's going to bounce out of play. Should stay possession for the Titans, and it does. So as mentioned, with Claridge out, the Fever, the leading goal scorer, active with 49 goals. It's been Heitschmidt, Nolan, and McDonald. One thing that is a pattern for the coaching staffs here at Carthage, originally told by me by J.W. Keycafer, sentiments shared by head coach Matty Burney. Keycafer, a two-time national championship coach at the volleyball side of things. Coach Burney shared the sentiments. Depth is only as good as if you use it. So you can have the deepest team, but if you don't use it, is it really depth? It's a very philosophical question in life. But with that being said, with Augie Claridge out, the depth proving itself strong. Illinois Wesleyan, a very strong middle of the lineup team. Not necessarily that, you know, one or two flamethrowers at the top. Over the middle, oh, looking for the one touch again was Rosie Nolan to no avail. A Fever, the outstretched stick, the turn, the spin, the contact. So Carthage misses the shot on the pass. Immediately, that just shows that veteran leadership of Piper Lefevre, one of the best in the conference. Reading the eyes of the defender. The ride just standing tall for Carthage. And with 65 seconds, they have a chance to go up 4-1. Dodge off to the right side, Bailey Castle. Reset of the shot clock, 60 ticks for the Firebirds to find goal number 4. Again, the Titans, a team that likes to get up early and maintain. Off the crossbar, picked up again by Carthage. Heard the ping of the iron from up here in the booth. 2:10 remaining in quarter number 1. Carthage scored first, Titans answered back, then a 2-0 run for the Birds. The bounce shot matriculates through Ramirsik, watches that work its way out of play. 30 seconds remain. Back to X. Sidebar. Running it down is Winterkorn. Almost back to the 30. And coming away with it yet again are the Firebirds. Resetting the shot clock, so even more time now. Multiple possessions, you can almost feel it, but what a save, Ramirsik. She said enough of that possession, it's our time. Over the middle. Bouncing to the far side, nobody there. Intercepted Indeed, it will be. That could, I mean, the elevated factor that could even be a yellow. That's going to be a green. Hitting the turf forcefully was Caitlin Goff. Again, I don't mind the aggressiveness of the Titans. You have 33 seconds remaining. You do not want Carthage to just sprint down again in transition. Sometimes that aggressive ride defensively is what you need to do. Let's take another look at it. Great job by our replay operators today. And there's that stick coming across the letters. With 3, with 2, with 1 on the ground. And that will end quarter number 1. You heard people in the crowd yelling, shoot, shoot. Titans able to weather the storm at the very end. But with that being said, your score, the Firebirds leading the Titans 3-1. We'll be back with quarter number 2 action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. I'm Peter Ferreri, 3-1 your score. Firebirds couldn't get a shot off in the trailing moments, up a player. However, the 30 seconds of that green card will remain. Pass inside the one-timer! Bang! Rosie Noland says every rose has its thorn. 4-1. Once again, Rosie Nolan, the third leading scorer of the Birds, coming into this contest already a brace on this Wednesday evening in Kenosha, Wisconsin, off the chilly lakefront of Lake Michigan. Face off in the middle. The Fever, 1v1 on Reefy. Mark that, Sadie Newton. And here's another look. This is how you score in 10 seconds. Lefevre gets her own draw control. Sprint ahead. 2 defenders. The slide at the top by Shore. The pass one time to Nolan. Ramirsek can't adjust quickly enough. Making a full sprint ahead. Off to the right side. Allowing the Firebirds already a 3-goal lead. The irony, as said in our conversation, the Titans stood tall. They did not even allow a clean shot at the waning moments of quarter number 1. However, immediately in quarter number 2, Carthage drew up the play and delivered. Back to X it goes, pushing strong, shooting space. So setting up back at X, not enough to warrant a card. Pass to the top of the 12-meter fan. Bounce shot and in. Answering back. Number 15, Sadie Newton. Not only does she get the draw controls, she's gotten both goals for the Titans. The do-it-all player currently
And a goal
for Illinois Wesleyan.
Number 15, Sadie Newton, her second goal of the game.
So Sadie Newton having herself the evening, single-handedly keeping the Titans within striking distance. Again, the last time these two teams met was a 10-8 victory. Carthage up 9-3 at half. However, half number 2 favored the Titans. They outscored Carthage 5-1 with 4 goals in the third. So at one point it was 9-7 going into the fourth. So the Titans, one of those teams, will not go easy into this good night. That side scroll effect. Strong challenge from behind for Sophie Shore. Let's see if that's going to be any card issued. I think the momentum of Lefevre, she's going to actually go to the 12-meter to start things off. As we saw in that full sprint, the contact just kind of led her into the turf. Wasn't as forceful as an initial look. The spin, the grounder, not a lot behind it. Titans an opportunity now should they be able to beat the defensive ride of the Firebirds. Trying to come within 1. Taken away. Defense stands tall again for Carthage. Whistle called green card. That time marked against Priscilla Tucker. Coaching staff of the Titans not necessarily happy about that one, as they felt that Bailey Castle was kind of already matriculating her way out of play, but nonetheless officials playing on the safe side for both teams. That's why that green card was created. Safety during the ride across that midfield area. Near side. Piper, Lefevre with the pipe bomb. None shoot faster in the CCIW, and the speed radar gun in full effect for that one. 5-2.
And a Carthage goal by number 19.
Piper Lefevre with that goal gets goal number 50 on the season. And that's saying something when she's number 2 on the team in goals. The last time these two teams met, again to reiterate, 10-8 was your score. Carthage has won all meetings between these two teams dating back to 2021. The 7th of April 2021 is the last time Carthage fell to the Titans 17-6, and that was after a huge winning streak, 5-game winning streak for the Titans, now followed by a 5-game winning streak for Carthage. Will Carthage find 6 in a row? The Titans restart their winning streak. The speed finding its way through. Firebirds have numbers. The pass inside the point blank. High ricochet off the deflection. Possession will stay with Carthage. Last time these two teams met, Piper Lefevre 4 goals, Bailey Castle 2. One's on the board for Heitschmidt, Noland, and Hannah Kim. As Hannah Kim has possession now. Fighting through to the right. Nothing there, resetting up the attack, 35 plus seconds for Carthage. Compression on the left shin. Goal! Crownham King, Bailey Castle out of Chesterfield, Mississippi, finds the back of the net. Castle with goal number 17 on the season for her.
Goal by number 20, Bailey Castle.
What a back and forth battle. You may say to yourself, well, Peter, it's 6-2. It was 1-0, then 1-1. Then Illinois Wesleyan got the second goal at the 5th goal for the Firebirds. Can Illinois Wesleyan follow suit and get goal number 3 immediately following this 6th goal for Carthage? Answering the call. The only prescription is more cowbell for Piper Lefevre.
And a goal by number 2, Heitschmidt. Her 5th goal of the game.
All smiles aboard. Timeout called. Lefevre with the assist. Heitschmidt with the goal, forcing the hand of Illinois Wesleyan. We said the quick strike of Carthage has proven itself fruitful. However, Illinois Wesleyan had been bouncing back and bouncing back and bouncing back. 2 out of the 7 goals, however, for Carthage have been make it, take it within 10 seconds. You don't have a chance to get through the replay. But that's the offensive approach that the Firebirds need to take. The pass, Lefevre to the top. This is that second to last goal. Again, we appreciate the replay crew sticking with us here to keep everybody afloat of the situation. There's that bottom 5-hole shot. And here's the answer back. Here's Lefevre. This is not a replay of the earlier goal to Nolan. This is a new one. Gets challenged at the top. Stick in the lane, Lefevre back, streaking teammate Heitschmidt, stick side, waist high, back of the net. .941 remaining in quarter number 2. Quick conversation happening with De La Vera and goalie coach Alessandra Almendarez. If that name sounds familiar, one of the best goalkeepers in the history, not only of Carthage, but of the CCIW herself, retained after graduation as goalkeeper coach and assistant coach. Former teammates of head coach Maddie Burney and assistant coach Rachel Harris. Coach Harris, the holdover, also former player. Her second year at the helm. It was 5-2, 2 quick goals for the Firebirds. Make that differential 5. Face-off 1, and that's exactly what needed to happen in the draw control circle for Sarah Reapy and the Titan squad. Misguided pass. Kim flying through. She gets shoved from behind. Carly Fountain. That should be a green, and it is. So Hannah Kim, I mean, truly on that play, you just saw the speed, the pure, natural given talent of speed and quickness. The quickness to start the step. Here we see on the replay coming through. Great job once again by the replay crew. She just comes through, and there is that right hand full extension by Fountain, just making Kim face plant. There were some yells in the crowd for a yellow, and seeing that replay, a little bit of an extension there. That wasn't just the arms were extended and your momentum went into them. That was a right hand separated extension with the back side of the knuckles. So that was a pretty close one. But nonetheless, 30 seconds remain for the player up advantage for the Firebirds. They haven't been able to take much advantage of these woman up scenarios. Pass back, the double slide, 10 on the penalty clock, dodging in, top shelf, number 19, mark it down for Piper Lefevre, feeling hot, hot, hot with what she's delivering. Has a brace of her own now. 2 goals for Nolan, 2 goals for Heitschmidt, 2 for Lefevre. 6-goal lead for the Firebirds. This is similar shades to some of their games this season. Again, Carthage, after losing on the road to University of Chicago and the Maroons 24-6, they lost a close one at home, 5-3 against the Pioneers. However, a 4-game winning streak after that. Augustana 21-2, Titans 10-8, 20-3 versus Elmhurst, and then a 9-5 home game clinching victory over North Central. As strength so far for the Titans, they have done a stellar job with the draw controls. Haven't been able to capitalize, however, on many of those possessions. Carly Fountain out of Orland Park, pride of Sandburg High School. Shot and save by De La Vera. Get a 1-2 punch and goal for Carthage this season. De La Vera and Kara Janes. Nolan.
And the Carthage Firebird goal by number 4,
9-2.
Nolan. First goal, with a hat trick.
Stop me if you heard me. But at one point, the score in their prior meeting was indeed 9-2. Why does that bear mentioning? If you're Carthage, you can't let up. One thing in the conversation I had with Coach Bernie today, she said, I had to preach to my team, you have to play the full 60 minutes. You cannot let up at all. They let up a bit in theory during their last contest. The Titans came storming back, once again outscoring Carthage 5-1 in the second half. Lefevre pushing ahead. One-on-one coverage. Misguided pass. Will that make its way all the way to the end line? It doesn't. That might have gone off the shoe of a Titan. Indeed, it went off the shoe, however, of Bailey Castle. So as the Firebirds were looking to potentially get goal number 10. And again, the Titans have played a solid game so far. The shots just haven't necessarily been there. And De La Vera hasn't allowed much breathing room at all. Pass to the top. Illinois Wesleyan needs to bridge this gap so they're not having to play such a comeback game in the second half. And the reason I say that is we know they have the wherewithal to do so. However, you aren't taking the best of shots if you're back so many goals. I've had a conversation with many coaches from the D1 to D3 level. Talk me through the mindset of when you're down 2 versus 7 or 8. And they said if you're down by 2, you're setting up your offense, you're looking for the best shot, you're taking your time and you're making sure that you utilize that possession to the best of your ability. If you're down 7, 8, 9, if you are down by enough that it's a running clock, you're taking your first shot and you're hoping it's good. Illinois, that's a 10-goal lead. They're at 7 right now, so Carthage needs 3 more, and they need to stop this one. Free position, flicks through. De La Vera picks up the pieces. Easy as a Sunday morning. Breaking the ride. Pushing the pace. Quick pass inside. The jump shot. The goal. Number 4 for number 4. Is it the shoes? Rosie Nolan delivers.
And a Carthage goal by number 4, Rosie Nolan.
What an offensive output. For this Carthage College team. Lead at 8. Illinois Wesleyan had the free position at the top hash and an opportunity to cut the lead from 7 to 6. Instead, defense into offense, Birds up by 8. So the Titans once again will have possession off the face-off in the draw control circle. De La Vera making it look easy. Take another look at goal number 10 for Carthage. They are flying high right now, looking to seal a home victory in their final home game of the season and take on the Pioneers. Should the Pioneers come out victorious against North Central, that'll be the rematch of that 5-3 defensive battle. The quick Bounces one time and in. Emma McDonald, oh so close. Four minutes remaining in half number one. Titans desperately need to flip the script. Currently, Carroll leads in the out-of-town scoreboard 8-4. They led 7-3 after quarter number one. Just looks to be a change of possession. So one of the defenders getting trounced on, but possession will go with Carthage. A quiet evening for Fiandaca. Let's see if they're able to get her rolling. Annalise DiGiovanni trying to pressure the ride out of Lockport, Illinois on the far side. Avery Seltzer along the middle. The defense to middle D has been challenged in this second quarter. Shooting space opportunity for Shannon Heitschmidt out of Marist High School, the Red Hawks on the south side of Chicago. Formerly a all-boys high school, went co-ed just about 20 years ago. And now one of the top athletic programs for young women in the state of Illinois. Heitschmidt, bottom left post, picks up her own rebound. Lefevre now resetting up the offense. The sidewinder, almost going toward the end line, but finding it in time, is Caitlin Goff out of Maine South. Goff, the defender falls, picks up herself, on the ground, low, high, save, Ramirsik. But we might have a shooting space called. Indeed, an opportunity now. For Carthage. 2:20 remaining. A 60-second green card issued against Priscilla Tucker out of Santa Rosa, California. Resetting the shot clock from 40. Let's take another look. Again, great job by the camera crew. They're saying, I believe, on... Yeah, there's a little bit of a touch from behind by Sophie Shore. Now waiting for the free position. Excuse me, back at X, actually, was Heitschmidt. I was a bit thrown off by the positioning. So 60 seconds. Could have been when the stick went up after falling to the ground on the defensive side for Illinois Wesleyan. Nonetheless, rotating inside. Rosie Nolan looking for it. We have another shooting space called. 32 on the shot, or on the penalty clock, 63 on the shot clock. Here's that 3-and-1 sent up the vaunted Maddie Burney free position attack from the one click over on the hash. Opportunity, Heitschmidt keeps it herself low, and a big, big save by Ramirsik. Exactly what you need if you're the Titans. This time a green issued on number 13, Caitlin Goff on the defensive side. 16 to go. 38 and change on the penalty clock. The pass inside, strong defense, shooting space called. Carthage would love nothing more but to go into half up by 8. Titans would love to cut that down to 7. The free position, the run, sailing too high. Who's going to get it? The Carthage College Firebirds. Great positioning back at X. Oh, is it going to be another false start? It is. The second false start called on the Firebirds after getting the change of possession. Under 60 seconds remaining in the half. De La Vera finds the pieces. Titans, down in their first meeting, came back in the second half. Hannah Kim sprinting to the near side. Looking for the outlet pass, gets it ahead to Heichman. 15 and change. On the ground, fighting for it. Headspace violation, back to the 12. 14 seconds. Caitlin Goff. Can the Firebirds get a shot off, unlike what happened at the end of quarter number 1? Fighting through and losing the handle. On the dodge. Oh, is coming away with a point-blank steal is Heichman with 2 and 1, and that will be the score going into half. 10-2 Carthage. Halfway home to taking on the winner of North Central and Carroll. We'll be back for half number 2 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
athlete to receive the CCIW Respect Award. These student athletes have distinguished themselves as an integral member of their team, their institution, and community by upholding the values of responsibility, enthusiasm, service, pride, excellence, collaboration, and trust. The Respect Award recognizes the intangible traits a student athlete possesses that exemplify great character and encourages inclusiveness and a positive culture. The 2025 Respect Award honorees in women's lacrosse are Kritika Chitnis from Augustana, Abby Stas from Carroll, Taylor Ruff from Carthage, MC Brown from Elmhurst, Mallory Mills from Illinois Wesleyan, and Ellie Gosselin from North Central. Congratulations to all of these outstanding student athletes. Let's give them a hand, folks.
It's time for the second half of action. Your score 10-2. The Firebirds lead the visiting Titans by 8 in the CCIW semifinals. The winner will play again Saturday against the winner of North Central Pioneers of Carroll College. Hello everybody, I'm Peter Ferreri. 1 half left of action. Season on the line, win or go home, as Apollo Creed said, there is no tomorrow for those that lose the game today. Thank you for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. It's been a pleasure to be here not only tonight but all season. A lot of these players not only earning the CCIW awards and accolades. Next week, Monday, Carthage hosting their annual awards banquet, the Embers. So some of these players up for awards there as well, as being some of the best student athletes at the institution. Some question, with Augie Claridge being inactive today, what would the offense look like for the Firebirds? They have done nothing short but pick up right where everybody thought they left off. The Fever dodges through shooting space, called the Fever an opportunity to get her hat trick going for Carthage. Piper the Fever, another one. Indeed, the hat trick. Number 52 on the season, number 19 on the jersey, and number 1 in the hearts and minds of the Firebird faithful, stepping up in a leadership form with down teammate Claridge. 11-2, and the Birds are now 1 goal away from a running clock and sprinting their way to the CCIW tournament championship game. The Fever back in the circle. jab at it, not necessarily getting the body on it, but doing so this time around. Carthage looking for the 10-goal lead. It was 5-2. Trying to pass it in off balance. On the ground it goes once again, far side this time around is Sophia Winterkorn. Dodging in, strong defense. The Titans' time is now defensively. Huge challenge, no whistle, ground ball. And the whistle favoring Illinois Wesleyan. Swiped away from behind, what a trail ride by Heitschmidt. Keeps it herself past the retention line. Swipe from behind that time for the Titans. On the ground it goes. Defensive positioning for Heitschmidt. Whistle favoring the Birds. Emma McDonald, 1 goal so far this afternoon. Is she due for number 2? When speaking about the draw control with Coach Burney, she said, look, Piper Lefevre has been amazing, but the nice part is, if maybe 2 or 3 don't go in our favor, we have Goff coming out, who's been dominating in her approaches, as well as Bailey and Rosie. So again, the depth offensively and in the circle proving itself ever so fruitful. Saved by Ramirsek. Crucial save for the Titans as they cling on to a 9-goal deficit, but clock still isn't running. Passing inside, the streaking offensive player, number 18, Setzler. And Setzler on the ground. Not quite sure if that was contact or not. So a player injured for both teams right now. We're going to take a timeout, let this sort out, and go to commercial break. We'll be back momentarily on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. The goal scored by the Titans. So we were coming back from break. It was a 2-minute releasable penalty by Taylor Ruff. And goal number 3 scored by Illinois Wesleyan. We appreciate you being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. So we were waiting for clearance, and they got going faster than the break could handle. 11-3, and the Titans now lead cut to 8. As mentioned, if you're just joining us now, first off, thank you for being with us not only tonight but all season. In addition to that, 5-1 is how Illinois Wesleyan outscored Carthage their last meeting. Carthage looking for the running clock. They need 2. They were down to 1 and had an opportunity multiple times to get that 10th goal, weren't able to deliver. Trying to dodge through, able to do so cleanly. Pulling off to the right side, resetting up his Emma McDonald, the aforementioned senior. Has been a key player stepping up in the absence of Claridge. On and off the field for the Firebirds. One thing that Coach Bernie said about the success of this season, and with the depth of the team, she said, look, what's nice about this squad in particular, she said, I came in first-year head coach. Some of the people, yes, I played with, she said, but it was a clean slate. Everybody got a chance to prove their value, prove their worth on and off the field, and do they have a spot where it is for my team. Short bench for the Birds. 4 players suited up. Including that of player number 5, goalkeeper Kara Janes. Looking now to be another opportunity. On the far side, number 30, Chloe Hale getting some minutes. So we'll check another look at that whistle. Hale switching hands. And again, that extension by Izzy Kieva, the freshman, the younger sister of Sid Kieva. Dodging in, the fast shot, stopped. De La Vera saying thank you next. Sprinting to the near side. Full steam ahead for Kieva the Elder. Green card likely to be issued. And indeed so on Sadie Newton. Head coach Kashina along with Maddie Poulter and Tanner Johnson not pleased with the call. They're saying that one Kieva ran out on her own. But again, there's that little bit of contact. That's, again, the officials are calling it close today, and that is indeed what they've been doing. So that, by no means is that a light foul. They are playing safe in that green card area between the 30s. Dodging to the right, shooting overhand, out of bounds it goes, past the end line. 60 plus seconds remaining, plenty of time. Over the top, through the woods, back of the net it goes. Winter, oh, they're saying they're waving it off. Believe that might have been a crease violation. Right now, on the opposite side, off camera, Heitschmidt gingerly walking toward the goal crease, and we have a shooting space on the opposite side. There's 8:25 remaining in the third. There is a lot of lacrosse left to be played. Left to right, another shooting space violation. Some of the defenders now for the Titans having a conversation with Heitschmidt. Again, if you're Carthage, you want to finish this off. Losing the handle on her way in was Sarah Reppy, excuse me. Hannah Kim, up ahead, pass to the side. Rosie Nolan, point, blank, delivering through. As we see, once again, I mean, our camera crew's doing a great job showing Heitschmidt. It looks like she's mouthing, I can't. Again, Heitschmidt coming back from an injury in her own right, having missed some time. Looking off to the sideline now if there's any players warming up for the Firebirds. Doesn't look to be the case. Again, Augie Claridge not in the lineup. Players like Rosie Noland rising to the occasion. Again, defense into offense, and who's at the helm? Hannah Kim. I mean, that is just speed personified. Felt the trailer coming, passed off to Lefevre, one more time to Nolan, dodges out, dodges in, bangarang, Rufio. 5-hole again. Lead at 9, Firebirds with possession, once again an opportunity to get the running clock. Contact on the back of the head. Viandaka called for the infraction. Again, a quiet evening for one of the leaders. The midfielder senior out of St. Chaz North. Rosie Nolan, the former Mighty Mac of Mother Macaulay Liberal Arts High School on the south side of Chicago. 10 minutes max away from Marist High School, as mentioned earlier. Lefevre delivers. Indeed, the lead jumps to 10. Clock will be running.
And a Carthage goal by number 19, Piper Lefevre.
Goal number 4 for Lefevre. Season high of goals for Rosie Nolan was 4. Coming into this day, she has 5. She had 25 on the season, up to 30 now. And the former Mighty Mac able to deliver. Let's take another look. Lefevre looked for the pass, then decided to split the uprights, triple teamed and was hit in the back of the skull, resulting in this free position. And that is just how good she is. Bottom left corner. Ramirez, not much she could do. And we're going to have a sub for Carthage as number 13, Caitlin Goff, hopping off on one leg. So coming in for her cold is going to be Kaylee Wagner, the defender out of New Lenox, Illinois, out of Lincoln Way West High School, on the defensive side. So that'll be a shift. And hopping still. As mentioned, Heitschmidt already limping a bit. And now for 13, Caitlin Goff, one of the players from Park Ridge, sidelined on the bench. Castle looking far side, and she gets swiped along the left orbital bone, as Priscilla Tucker going to be issued a yellow. So that'll be 2 minutes. Clock already running. Besides when these penalties occur. But with that being said, having a conversation with coaches about that running clock situation, when you are the team leading, you don't want it to sit at 10. You want goal number 11. You want goal number 12. You want to keep that lead extended a bit, get those insurance goals, so that way it's not a start, stop, start, stop. Plenty of time for the Firebirds to get goal number 14 while still being a player up. 30-second differential between the penalty clock and the shot clock. So look for the Carthage College Firebirds to utilize as much of that remaining 40 seconds as possible, getting his shot off and not allowing much left. That is not the case of what just happened. Making the run now is Fiandaka. Keeping it herself. A highlight reel player for the Titans this season, and especially part of that valiant comeback effort that fell just short against the Firebirds a few weeks ago. Whistle's going to stop with 4:02 remaining. Change of possession. Schmidt now. Fearless on the offensive side. Up ahead to Lefevre. Juked a defender almost out of her shoes. What can't Lefevre do? Hannah Kim going in. Took the full sprint. Dialed it back when the lane wasn't there. High IQ player is one Hannah Kim. To X. Birds lead by 10. 3:13 remaining in the third. Both teams at full strength after some recent card issuances. Standing on the sideline is Caitlin Goff. A good sign for Carthage. Her evening, however, may be done. We'll see. Could have just been a tweak or a cramp. Again, challenging when 24 hours, 48 hours ago, it's 80 degrees, and now it is not. Titans desperately looking for a goal to stop the running clock. Side pass along the right side. Chloe Hale, the defender out of Houston, Texas. The dodge over the middle, kick, save, and a beauty. De La Vera says no, 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 no. Hannah Kim goes extra speed. She hits the ground. Another, I believe that's going to be a green card, and it is. Titans not quite sure what happened, but Hannah Kim still down on a knee. Again, I mean, what she's able to do. So again, a sub has occurred as well. With that being said, back in the game is Caitlin Goff. Let's take another look at that cross check. Yeah, and that was a stick right along the left ear. So understandably so, Fountain threw up the hands, but when the stick hits the ear, that cannot feel good. Back at X. Minute 10 remaining in the third. Firebirds looking for goal number 14. The Titans right on the cusp of stopping the clock to at least allowing themselves an opportunity. This spin-a-rooney by Tucker, losing the handle. Piper taking the hit. Let's see if a card is going to be issued. A yellow card on the cross-check. Coaching staff for the Titans having a conversation. Clock stopped at 46 seconds, and here's those challenging situations with the running clock. So there's Lefevre with a clean swipe from behind. It was a slight contact by Tucker, but enough to warrant a yellow. 33 seconds is all that remains in quarter number 3. Clock is moving. Can Carthage get off a shot to extend the lead to 11? 8. Back at X. Looking for the pass. Hits the ground. And the third quarter will expire again, whether it's quarter number 1 or quarter number 3. The defense stands tall for the Titans. 10 goals. Do the Titans have a miracle left in the pocket? We'll find out with the running clock. Quarter number 4 coming your way on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. About to get underway in the fourth and final quarter of action. The Titans trail 13-3. They were tied at 1 early on in the contest. But a 12-2 run has been the difference. Hello everybody, I'm Peter Ferreri. The final quarter of action for one of these squads. I don't want to say who they'll be facing because it's still a close one, as the Pioneers lead cut to 2. They lead 9-7 with 11 remaining in the contest. So the winner of tonight will face either North Central or the Pioneers based on that outcome. Firebirds fell 5-3 in their contest against the Pioneers, 1 against North Central, 9-5. Heitschmidt back in the contest. She was on the trainer's table to finish quarter number 3. Back out. Coming out of the game now, Bailey Castle. She's hopping on one leg. Again, I'm just assuming a lot of cramping with these temperature changes. Rolling around, Heitschmidt, top right corner. Abracadabra, abra-ooh-la-la. 14-3, and that's the insurance goal that the Firebirds were looking for. Clock continues to run.
And the Carthage goal by number 2, Shannon Heitschmidt. Her third goal tonight for a hat trick.
The hat trick for Heitschmidt. 4 for Lefevre, 3 for Heitschmidt, 5 for Nolan. And the hits just keep on coming. Is that going to be a false start? It is. So false start called against the Titans. Nolan not only is at a season high in a game, a career high in a game, and what better time than in the semifinals of the CCIW tournament. Prior was 4, now 5. As we take another look back at X, Heitschmidt kept it herself, made the turn, and just decided to keep it herself for the shot. The slide never came. Decided to try at it, and again, up by 10, why not? So Heitschmidt stays in. Castle checks out. Bree Style out of Peoria, Illinois now with possession. That goes the other way. A short bench now, to say the least, for the Firebirds. Doesn't look like we'll have a goalie change for Carthage. They'll let De La Vera ride it out. Again, De La Vera, a true freshman out of Indian Trails High School locally here in Kenosha. So the future is bright defensively for Carthage. The spin high save, Ramirsik. The senior from St. Viator. Titans take over. They need goals. Can they get 2 to stop the running clock? That sails high. Running back. Smart play, De La Vera, and that's just what we call the Almendarez special. That is coaching at its finest, knowing if it goes too high, the goalkeeper, De La Vera, so she just turned around, ran back, stick out, closest to the end mark. Brilliant play. Also talking about some stellar output on the defensive side. Again, Kim and Kayeva the Elder, all CCIW defensive team. Coach Bernie said they've been awesome to coach. Also being a former teammate of Kayeva, being elite defenders and leaders. You know, the running joke in practice, she goes, and something I used to say even when she was a freshman is, I don't want to go against Sid. Heitschmidt, oh, look for the one touch to Nolan. Already breaking her career mark. Coach talked about the toughness of one Hannah Kim with 9 minutes remaining in the contest. Said she went down hard against North Central. Everybody held their collective breaths, already being a injured squad this year. And how about that? Bailey Castle hopped off the field on one leg earlier in this contest, comes back in and gets the brace, her second goal of the afternoon.
And a Carthage Firebird goal by number 20, Bailey
Why not?
Castle, her second goal tonight.
15-3, and that should all but secure Carthage's ride to the CCIW championship game. Piper Lefevre staying in the center. Had an amazing freshman year. Injury-plagued sophomore campaign. Has come back this junior year with full force. And this is this confidence-building win if you're the Firebirds. Again, Coach Bernie saying we have to finish, we have to play the full 60. Well, they're 7.5 away from playing that full 60 and preparing for whoever their opponent may be. Pio's getting another goal, so a 3-goal lead with 7 minutes in the fourth. So should those two scores, this one here in Carthage and with Carroll, exactly what you write on paper, the 1 seed welcoming the number 2, conference play and tournament play. And that'll be an absolute barn burner on Saturday. This greater Kenosha, Milwaukee area, southeastern Wisconsin, such a hotbed for top-tier lacrosse. Marquette University, always a great program in the Big East. Carthage, Pioneers, some elite D1 through 3 schools in the area. Six minutes remaining in the contest. Trying to run it down to no avail. It was Bailey Castle. Kaylee Wagner standing on the sideline watching on. Chloe Hale still not in the contest again for the Titans. Carly Bayes, the midfielder out of Naperville North, in the contest for the Titans. Losing a handle, and Lefevre finds the pieces. Full steam ahead. Looking for the touch. Pulling back. Under 5 remaining in the contest. Out of town scoreboard update. The Pios a second goal in the fourth, leading 7-11. So a 4-goal lead with under 5 remaining. And that should potentially line up exactly what we just mentioned. Carthage at Carroll. That'll be over on the Pioneer Broadcasting Network this weekend. Looking for the side pass to no avail. Coming away with his Taylor Ruff back in the game. the CCIW Respect Award winner. Coach Bernie saying day in and day out, people forget last year tore her ACL at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of this year, a little hesitant to get back on the horse. Coach Bernie saying, look, I need you and I want you to play more. You got to give it all. She said she's a great defender. She has made herself into a great player, solid defender to teach her teammates. She said she is somebody I can rely on. I never have to think about wherever I put her out on the field, I know the job's going to get done. Quote, she embodies what is going on off the field, including the fact that she shows up. And that's that bigger picture concept. Like, she's not just the physical, oh, she shows up, but the fact that her attitude, her personality shows up. Kid tried for the jump spin shot. Nice stop by Ramirez. The ride still playing tough. It's a takeaway with 2.5 remaining. Titans now looking. Can they find a fourth goal? Easier said than done against this vaunted defensive attack for the Firebirds. Two minutes remain. There's a goal. Number 3, Maddie Gibson, the attacker, out of Rockwood Summit High School in Fenton, Missouri. The true freshman able to deliver. And something I want to mention about this Illinois Wesleyan squad is they find goal number 4. It is a young team, a very young team. Style a sophomore, Gibson a freshman, Bayes a freshman, Shore a freshman, Keaton a freshman. You have so many. Chloe Hale, a sophomore. Such a young squad that the fact that they fought their way, clawed their way to be that 3 seed, the future is quite bright for this Titan squad. And I don't want to take anything away from the season they had. And again, yes, this result today isn't exactly what they were hoping for. But the fact that just a few weeks ago almost stole one from a come-from-behind effort against this very Carthage team just shows that they really have a lot going for them heading into the off-season and preparation already for next year. With that being said, Carthage takes a shot with 38 seconds remaining. Not quite sure why the clock has stopped, but nonetheless, 38 ticks remain. Dodging in, going low. Goal number 16 of the evening. And for all intents and purposes, that should just about ride it out. Maybe time for a draw control.
And a Carthage goal by number 20.
Number 20. Bailey Castle. The hat trick. And with 3 and 2 and 1, the Carthage College Firebirds swarm around their outstanding goalkeeper, De La Vera. And that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. Carthage defeats the Titans 16-4 in the semifinals of the CCIW tournament. And again, we will now go over some final stats and overviews of this game. Let me start with this. Illinois Wesleyan. What an outstanding performance. The score didn't necessarily reflect what some may have expected, but I want to point out it was a close battle early on. wasn't until the second half and later on in quarter number 3 to be exact, where Carthage really pulled away. Titans just couldn't find their way enough to come back into this one. They never gave up. They always gave their best effort. So truly, congrats to the Titans for making it being one of the top 4 teams here in the CCIW. But now let's take a moment and look over some of the final statistics for these two squads. Once again, starting with the Titans, Newton leading the way in the goal category, 2 goals, Fountain with 1, and Gibson with 1. Ramirez-Sek, 16 goals against 13 saves. And let's look at overall team statistics now. 14-6 differential, 71 on the assist, 39-17 shot differential, 23-11 on the on-goal mark. Ground balls favored the Firebirds. Clears just about even. Turnovers, the Titans, one of the best teams turnover-wise. Well, they faced number 1, and 15-7 was that turnover differential. Now looking at individually speaking, some of the Firebird stats: 10 saves by De La Vera off of 4 goals against. Leading the charge, Rosie Nolan, 5 goals. Heitschmidt with 3, Lefevre 4, and 5. McDonald had 1 to boot as well. Once again, your final in Kenosha. So much excitement, so much happiness as the number 2 seed and number 2 ranked in the CCIW, Carthage College Firebirds, come away victorious against the visiting Titans of Illinois Wesleyan. Looking ahead quickly, just so everybody is on the same page. Right now, the final. The Pioneers, I wanted to wait for it to be final, have defeated the Cardinals of North Central College 11-7. So at one point it was 9-7. 2 more goals in the 4th secured the victory for the Pioneers of Carroll College. That will then result in Carthage at Carroll this upcoming weekend. And boy, oh boy, folks, if you don't tune into that, I don't know what to tell you, because that will be the matchup of matchups. Saturday, May the 3rd, time to be determined. But I want to thank you for being with us not only tonight, but all season on the CCIW and Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again, for all the staff and crew, for executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as Laura Addison, Ty, and Logan, a fully student-produced and run broadcast, best in the business of the CCIW. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2025. Once again, I'm Peter Ferreri. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. 16-4, Birds advance, taking on the Pioneers this Saturday, the CCIW Championship.